Guys, I'm going to give it just a second to get started while you guys log on and Facebook builds me an audience here. And then I'm going to be talking all about sneak peeks today and how to rock them in your business. So going to give it just a second. If you are watching the replay later on, I would love if you could hashtag replay in the comments so we can see who is catching up on this video later. I see some eyeballs. Hey, you guys. Would love if you guys could say hi when you guys are joining on. It is nap time for us. So I've got 3 boys. So just a little warning, if you hear any like door kicking or screaming, totally normal in this household. So forgive me in advance. Hey guys. So today I'm going to be talking about sneak peeks. I started running, so I've been coaching for 6.5 years, and I started running sneak peeks when I was a baby emerald coach. My coach was like, this is something you should be doing. So I was like, okay. And I started doing them from the very beginning of my business. And honestly, to this day, I can say some of my very best coaches not only come from challenge groups, but they also come from these sneak peeks. And this is a huge way on how I have been able to attract cold market coaches to my business and people who really want to do this and run with me rather than people who just want to dabble or use this as a discount. So I run usually 2 different sneak peeks a month. So I've learned over the years what works, what doesn't work. And I'm sure you guys have seen what other coaches do. You've seen probably the landing pages where people have a website with a bunch of different videos. We've done webinars where people hop on Zoom together. I've seen them called happy hours as well. I've seen people do 1-day sneak peeks, 3 days, 5 days, apprenticeship type groups. Like there's so many different ways to do it. But the premise around a sneak peek is offering something for someone who is interested in coaching. And the reason I really like sneak peeks is it forces me to talk about coaching. We all run challenge groups. I got to think all of us, you know, in the top 10 still to this day are running challenge groups too. And the beautiful thing about a challenge group is you talk about it all the time with your workouts, your shakes, you know, your before and after pictures, and it's easy. And I found it was really hard for me to start talking about coaching when I felt like I didn't have anything to invite to. And that was my biggest hang up is, okay, let's say I invite someone to join my team and they say yes, they want more information, like, what do I do then? And that was my biggest fear is like, I don't have any information or like gathered, organized information to give them. And it was my biggest like hang up. So I just wasn't inviting to coaching. So sneak peeks were and still are my answer. So I run 2 different sneak peeks a month. I use the first week of the month and the last week of the month. So last week and first week to nail in people for my boot camp. So I am talking about them like crazy. The rest of the month, I am focused on getting business builder coaches to join my team. And I do that through sneak peeks. So I'm going to talk about sneak peeks. You guys, I want you guys to realize like sneak peeks, there's not like a one way that works, but I want to talk about what I've been doing in my business. And I want you guys to like use your creative hat and make sure you know, like you can put your own spin on things and also come from the perspective of what would have you signed up with. I'll be really honest. Like I dropped my email on someone's Instagram post and I signed up an hour later. She had no idea what she was doing. I had no idea what I was doing. So just remember, like you don't need a perfect sneak peek in order to sign up a business builder coach, but it can help. So just remember, like you can do this in whatever way works for you and make sure like you're offering what you would like. I would have liked information, but I would have wanted to be able to sign up on the first day. I wouldn't need 3 days to make up my mind. I'm a very impulsive, like I'm in, okay, I'm in. So just make sure, like think from your perspective of what would have motivated you, what would have you liked as a coach or a prospect, and make sure you're offering that too. So very first thing when I am doing a sneak peek is I pick my dates. I could tell you when I'm doing my next sneak peeks for the next probably couple months. I can look at the calendar and kind of figure out what my game plan is. And I know it's going to be those mid-months because my goal is I need to lock in Success Club first. So if you have not locked in Success Club, go do that before you go host a sneak peek. Okay, after you pick a date, then you have to figure out what you're going to do. So I typically run mine on Facebook. I have the best turnouts for it. The coach that I am attracting is a working mom, someone who's got lots of kids that when she gets home from work, the last thing she wants to do is hop on a video call, and someone who is running in between things but could watch a live video on the way to work, on their lunch break, with one ear pod in while they're working. So I know live videos are best for who I am trying to attract. So I set up the group and put a cover photo, whatever. Do not spend too much time doing cover photos and dumb stuff like that. That is not going to move your business forward. Call your group whatever you want. It can be Jess's Coach Sneak Peek. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. Open it up. And so I do things, but I go between 3 days and 5 days. So the reason I like 3 and 5 days is it gives me 3 or 5 days to follow up with people. And the sneak peek, the reason why it's gold is the follow-up. So giving myself 3 to 5 days to be in their inbox every single day is how I get them to sign up. So on the very first day of a sneak peek, my biggest goal is to introduce myself and to talk about my story. I think our stories of why we signed up as a coach, what we love about it, what it's been able to do for our life, that is why someone signs up with you. They do not sign up because it's only $15.95 or whatever. Like those facts, they want to know them, but remember, your story is what's going to sell coaching. So they want to know everything, you guys, and they want to know about the early days. So if you've been around for maybe as long as some of us have been, like 6+ years, even 4 years or more, like they want to know how it was when you were a brand new coach like they're about to be. So I share my story of how, I went from 215 pounds, how I found coaching, mix in how I lost weight with Beachbody, but then I also talk about how I was able to do this while working full time, working 60 hours a week. How did I find time for coaching on top of then being pregnant and then having a baby, like all of these things, like how did coaching fit in? And so this is where think about who you're trying to attract and what would they need to hear. So again, my clientele or my prospect that I'm going for is a working mom. She's probably gone to college. She probably spent a decent amount of money and is probably still paying off those student loans. Mine probably doesn't love her job and would do just about anything to stay home with her babies. So what do I talk about? I talk about how desperate I was to stay home with my babies too, and how I did that, and how with working 60 hours a week, with a 2-hour commute, with kids, how was I able to fit in coaching and still be a good mom? So that is what I know my clientele needs to hear. I also talk about the fact that I didn't have to go back to school to do this, because I also know who I'm going for probably is still paying off those student loans, would love to do something different with their life because they probably need to work. But I know for me, like I did not want to go back to school. And that was a beautiful thing about coaching, is I could start this business without having to get myself more in debt with going back to school or leaving a job, anything like that. Like I could do it while I was doing what I was doing. So I would make a list of all the things you love about coaching and what does your avatar, for example, what do they need to hear? Why are they attracted to coaching? And tell stories based on that, because your stories are what is going to sell them on this and help them picture themselves in your shoes. But I also talk about how hard it is and how many sacrifices I made, especially while my son was little. So when you're painting this picture of coaching, I think the biggest thing we do wrong is we paint it as rainbows and butterflies. And I think we all know coaching isn't always rainbows and butterflies. It can be really freaking hard. And you're going to have people quit on you, people say no. Like what we do as coaches is easy, but it is in terms of very hard at the same time. So don't make this sound like, oh yeah, I just do this like 10 minutes while I'm feeding my kids breakfast and I've built this $1 million business. Like that's not realistic. Okay. And they also need to hear how hard you worked in those early days, because anyone who's built a decent income in this business did not do that they didn't do that overnight. They probably worked a lot of hours for very little in the beginning to be able to build that. So make sure you paint a realistic picture. I know for me, I want people on my team who aren't afraid to work, okay? I don't want people who think hustle is a bad word. We hustle, and we hustle hard, and we're proud of our ambition. I'm proud of what we do. And don't make that sound like a bad thing, because my goal in my sneak peeks is honestly, I want to scare off all of them who aren't serious. And if that leaves one person standing in the dust at the end that's like ready to go with me, that's perfect. That's the one I want to run with. The goal is not to get 30 people signed up. The goal is to find your builders, the people who are ready to do this with you. And if that's one a month, awesome. That's great. You got to start somewhere. So don't go out there trying to attract everyone. Go out there trying to attract your people. Because frankly, you want a team of people that you would invite to your kids' birthday parties and you would want to hang out with and you want to go to happy hour with, not people that just like, not just anyone. So that's day one. Sharing your story. So I personally run my sneak peeks with a success partner. So pair up. You guys are all in teams right now. This would be a beautiful time for you guys to all pair up, do a sneak peek together, and share each other's, and everyone share their stories. When we do these videos, I try to keep them around 15 minutes because again, no one's going to watch a 45-minute story of yours. So keep it short, keep it sweet, know your audience of who you're talking to. So once we share our stories, the second day is all about information, what we do as coaches, and then also how we earn income and the cost to coach. So when I do my video about what we do as coaches, be very honest with what we do as coaches, okay? It is not just posting on social media. It's not just like posting pretty pictures and getting tons of people to sign up with you. So my biggest tip for you guys, so please listen. This has been a game changer for me. My mouth's really dry, so sorry. Okay, so biggest tip here is make sure you say, as coaches, we commit to helping 3 people a month. Okay, set the expectation on day 1 or on day 0 that we help 3 people a month. They come in there knowing we help 3 people. For the longest times in my sneak peek, I used to say, well, our goal is to help 3 people, but I mean, there's no penalty if you don't. I pretty much just told them that they don't have to hit Success Club. Like I just beat around the bush and let them know that there was no expectation for them to work. And that's not true. As coaches, we commit bare minimum to help 3 people a month. And so I start out the call saying, as coaches, we commit to helping 3 people a month, and I'm going to tell you how we do that now. So I tell them a little bit about our boot camps. I tell them how, our job is getting results and inspiring other people to get their results too. And so we run things like boot camps. And so I say, like, yes, we do work for Beachbody. We do make sales. Sales are not a bad word around here. But through that, once we make a sale, that's when our job begins. And we run them through boot camps. And in our boot camps, we are helping people get results. So I tell them a little bit about the challenge pack, what, they're going to get workouts, meal plans, supplements for a year, blah, blah, blah. Same package they're going to sign up with. Again, planting the seed that they're signing up with a challenge pack and they need to have their own products. So after that, then I go into how we now get people in our boot camp. So I say it starts with you. On day 1, you're going to select a program and you're going to go all in if you're not already in our boot camp and doing that already. And so I tell them, like, you need to be willing to follow a program. You need to be willing to try our meal plans, our supplements, and you be a product of a product, because that's how you're going to build belief, not only in the products yourself, but also other people. And I feel like our bodies are walking and talking billboards. When you get awesome results, you don't have to do much. I mean, back up. You do have to do stuff, like you still have to invite and stuff, but it makes your job so much easier when you have amazing results and people can look at you going like, okay, what are you doing? I want that too. So make sure you're getting your own results. And I tell them, on day 1, we're going to take a bunch of before pictures, because I tell my story of when I signed up, I did T25, and every 3 days I posted my transformation. 3 day, 6 day, 9 day, 12 day. And that's how I hit Success Club 23 my first month as a coach. And so I tell that story so they know coming in, they need to be getting results. I then go into inviting and say, like, yes, and I talk to them. Your first customers are going to be your friends, your family members, your coworkers, the people you personally know. And in the meantime, we're going to also help you build social media. So when that runs out, you have backup and you can now then be connected to the whole world. So again, planting the seed. You have to be willing to talk to those friends, your family members, your Facebook friends. I don't want someone signing up and be like, oh, I don't want to invite my friends. Okay, well, I told you in the sneak peek that that's what we do. And so honestly, like from that, I'm having a ton of girls hit Success Club the first day they sign up, because they know we help 3 people and we're not going to ask our friends. And so then I talk about posting on social media. You need to be willing to have that public profile, put your story out there, share stuff. And I talk about, like, I'm a super introverted. This whole quarantine at home thing ain't that bad over here. Like, I'm kind of loving having to be home and away from people. But I talk about how I put myself out there on social media and how important it is. And so from there, I talk about how we invite. going into the comments, going into the messages, or going into your likes, who watches your stories. And I tell them, like, you cannot be afraid to invite people, because if you're not inviting, your business is closed. And so again, letting them know, inviting is number one thing we do as coaches. And if you're not willing to do it, here's the exit door. And just kind of teaching them how we do that right there. And then also talking about follow-ups. A lot of people are going to tell you no. And I want them to know that up front. So when they join and their mom says no, that they're not like, coaching's not for me, and get super dramatic and quit. I want them to know that, and I tell them when I signed up, I would say at least 1 out of 10 people said yes to more information. And then probably 30% of those people actually said yes and signed up. And so I said, look how many people you're going to be inviting. It's not going to be 5 people. You're going to be inviting and talking to a lot of people. This might be hard at first, but you're going to get the hang of it. And I'm here to help you every step of the way. So then we go into getting results. How important it is to be getting yourself results, your challengers results, so that way they end up wanting to coach with you, and they honestly just continue on in your boot camps. It's not just about selling a package and being done. It's really helping them get results and changing their life, really. And then I talk about mindset, how I fit this into my job while I was working full time, how I do this now, talking about the pockets of time, talking about how important it is to be consistent, that you have to be willing to show up. Like, you can't, and I tell them, like, you cannot expect to like do this for like once an hour every couple of days and have this pay you like a full-time job. And so they know kind of what I did in the beginning, but they also see where I'm at now. And I want them to see, like, I worked just as hard when I was making, you know, $1,000 a month as I am now making 10 times that. You know, like, I want them to see, like, the hustle was still there in those early days, and you have to be willing to be consistent if you want to be in these shoes someday. So that's kind of that day. And then we also talk about cost and income. So income, obviously, we're talking about the 25% off. We talk about team cycle bonus a little bit, that, you know, as they grow their team and they get 2 coaches signed up, and I let them know you're going to do that probably on your first day. So again, planting the seed that they do that right away, that you're going to get a team cycle bonus. And I also let them know that that's probably going to be 0 at first, you know, but that I'm here to help them. Sorry, my kids are doing something crazy upstairs. I'm here to help them every step of the way, and we'll grow that. But just know in the very beginning, it's going to be small. So I share my income progression with them just because I want them to see, like, I hustled for very little at first so I could make a lot down the line. But it wasn't always like this. And then we also talk about quarterly bonuses, and, you know, that you get those. And I set the timeline. I got that after 1 year in the business, and you can get that sooner, or you can get it later, depending on how hard you are willing to work. And then also for cost. So I tell them the cost to get signed up is the cost of their challenge pack. And then it's $15.95 a month after that. You're saving 25%. And if you're part of the military, you're getting that waived. And then I also let them know your other cost per month is your supplements, about $100 a month. And if you're not willing to do that, like, that is part of it, you know. And I went back to, you heard in the other video, you have to be a product of the product. And I do, oh my gosh, he's probably at my Peloton. Oh my gosh, he's gonna like knock his teeth out. Anyways, I let them know that, you know, I want you to be a product of the product, and that's really, really important. And so if you're not willing to do that, like, I've got some people who aren't willing to drink the shakes or don't like them, like, to me, I think that's important. But I also let them know, like, this is a business. Every business has startup costs, and I'm going to help you be profitable from month 1. It is going to take work, but you got to get those 3 people. So start thinking about who your 3 people are right now. Oh my gosh. And then I go into, so then the following day, I do mentorship. So the mentorship, I talk about our training. This is going to be different for all of us. Talk about your team page. What can they expect from you? So I say, like, I'm going to send you a link. You're going to get signed up with your challenge pack. You'll get access today. I'm going to do a one-on-one with you once you get signed up, get to know your goals. I've got an email training. I'll get you started on that. And then a lot of it is going to be one-on-one through Voxer, so I can specifically help you. We talk about our team page. And then we also talk about just, like, you have to be self-motivated. It's not up to me to be successful for you. And I tell them, like, I will match your pace. If you are walking, I'll walk with you. I'll jog with you. I'll sprint with you, because I'm sprinting too, girl. But I tell them every single time, if you throw a tantrum in the middle of the parking lot, I am not pulling you up, girlfriend. Meaning, if you're going to sit here and whine and complain and bitch and moan. Like, I'm leaving you there and I'm going to move forward. Like, it is not my job to do this for you. I am here to give you the tools, but you have to take them and run with them. So setting the expectation, like, I'm not going to be in their inbox being like, hey, how many invites did you do today? Where are you at with Success Club? Like, that's your job. We're all adults here, and that's not my job to babysit yet. So kind of setting the expectation, like, they got to be a go-getter. I want someone who is a self-starter. I always tell myself, like, my coach never messaged me and said, like, hey, like, where are you at? Like, are you going to hit Success Club? Like, that's been my own thing to put on myself. Like, my coach never had to do that. And I want coaches that I don't have to do that and babysit them. Like, we all know what our job is as coaches, and you know where my door is. Come ask me when you need help, but I don't want to have to micromanage. So I set those expectations up front. So that day, I also put a post in there that says, what questions do you have? And the following day, on the last day, I go live with questions. And I want them to be frank, like, I'll answer anything. And so I get a lot of good questions. Sometimes Q&A is an hour long. I said, I'll stay there as long as it takes. And so that's what we do. And then the biggest piece of advice for you guys I have is two things. One, download your videos, okay? If you're on Facebook, there's a little like video extractor, download them, put them unlisted on Facebook or on YouTube, mail them out every day, okay? So on day one, hey girl, I don't know if you saw my videos in our sneak peek, here's the link. Here's the two videos, my story and my teammate's story. I would love to know what you think. My mentorship is opening up on Friday. I've got 5 spots. If you're ready, let me know and I'll help you get going. So no opening enrollment that first day. Some people don't need to watch all your videos to decide. Your social media should help them decide whether they watch a video or not. Give them a deadline. When do they need to be signed up? When is your mentorship starting? And you might say, I don't have a mentorship. Your mentorship can be a one-on-one call. It could be putting a group chat together. It could be just a Monday. It could be whatever you decide. But have a deadline, have a certain number of spots, and make sure it is limited, okay? So don't say like, oh, I've got 30 spots for new coaches. Okay, then there's no rush. No one's gonna fill those up. Do 2. Do 3, whatever, and you can make it up. Figure out how many you want, but make it sound exclusive. Give them a deadline and mail those videos out every day. Those videos are a reminder, like, hey girl, I'm still here. And then the next day when I do cost and what we do, hey girl, I'm still here. Here's all 4 videos I've done. Okay, and also here's the link to get signed up if you're ready to go. Okay, next day they get all 4 plus the mentorship video. Like, you're getting videos every single day, and those follow-ups are when people are joining. I even will do it where I'll send a video like, hey, going live in 30 minutes, hope to see you there. So keep in mind, sorry, let me get you up now. So that's kind of the trick though, is the follow-up. So that's why I like doing these 3 or 5 day ones. My 5-day ones, I add a little to it. So I actually give them a little bit of extra training. So I'll do an invite training, a little bit about mindset, and I also give them tasks every day. So this is where get creative, okay? So I've seen other coaches doing, what are we doing? We're putting on lipstick too. Isn't it amazing I've been able to build a business like this, guys? Anyway, so give them tasks. So in my 5-day one, I call it more of an apprenticeship. All the same videos, but I add one extra in about inviting. So the importance of talking to friends. I love Ashley Molstad's example. I don't know if you've seen her YouTube video about, if you had a best friend going to Taylor Swift, who would you call up and invite, and how to not think of it as being salesy, but just wanting your friends to do this too. So we do a similar video like that, but we give them the free workouts every single day. So the workouts on Vimeo we put in there, and we kind of have them start doing coach type behaviors. Go do this workout and tag me in your stories. Okay, go now comment, and we actually have a sample invite script. I'd be happy to share it in here after I'm live. Little tasks that you can give your sneak peek to kind of help them start like becoming coaches before they are. And also it helps them decide if they really want to coach. So I think first day is do your workout and share it on your stories. Second day is, okay, I want you to share something that was motivational from your workout today and tag me in it. And then the next day, it's also like, go one step further, go invite, go ask your friends, like, hey, I'm in this free boot camp right now. I'm loving these at-home workouts. If I put a group together like this for me and you and the girls, like, would you join? And it's funny, these girls will get like 10 yeses, and by Wednesday, they're like, okay, where do I sign up? I've got 10 girls ready to go. And it's amazing how quickly people are ready to go. And it also weeds out the people that say, oh my gosh, no one wants to do this. I don't think I'm good at this. It weeds those people out, but it shows people that this is easy. Very, very simple. So that's kind of how you can get creative with these, and think about how you can kind of mix this up and make it kind of like a free group plus sneak peeks, and study them, guys. Figure out what works. Every single sneak peek I've ever done has been a little bit different. I study the words I say. I study the questions I get afterwards. I study the types of coaches I get. And I go back and I know exactly which coaches I got from which ones. And I can say, okay, these girls went diamond in their first month. What did I do there that was different than the others I've done? Or man, this one, I got a bunch of people that don't want to work and suddenly are quitting when they don't make $1,000 on the first day. Like, did I set weird expectations? Like, study what works, you guys, and study what doesn't. And okay, well, sorry, you gotta wait for me, bud. You guys have to study what works, because this is how you're going to become better. And you might have some that flop and you sign no one up, and that's okay. Now you know that didn't work. And you might have others that you signed up a ton of people. Study what works, and also study what you did to get the people in there. It might have been your breadcrumbs on social media. It might have been your call to action that was really amazing. It might be a ton of different things. So study it, guys. That's how we become better. So that is kind of how I run my sneak peeks, but I really just want to stress the importance of those follow-ups afterwards, because that truly is where the magic happens. And then also, as you guys start doing these sneak peeks, every single time you get a no or someone ghosts you, they go on your follow-up list. Don't ever take them off. There's girls that I've invited for like 5 years that then come in and kill a sneak peek with me, and they kill it literally from day one. And it just was, they just weren't ready. Maybe they had crazy things going on in their life. They were pregnant. They had things going on at work, but I invite them every single time. So just remember, you guys, the more you're inviting, you're also growing your follow-up list. And can you imagine the day that your follow-up list is like 10,000 strong? And when you run a sneak peek, you have no problem getting 300 or 400 people in there because of your follow-up list. And that way you can grab people when they're ready. So just some little tips, you guys, of how I run sneak peeks. I do these every single month. And they're really nice to do on Facebook, because you can always go back and add to them. It's nice to download the videos. You always have them, and you can go back to them at any time or email them out. But again, think about what your avatar would like, what they would want to say, and just start. Oh my goodness, you guys. So these have been a game changer for my business. This is still how I recruit to this day. It forces me to talk about coaching constantly. This is how I've recruited most of my team, honestly. So I hope this helps a little bit. If you guys have any questions, I'd be happy to go through the chat later on and answer any questions, and I'd be happy to share anything I got. So I hope you guys are having a great day, and we will see you later.